probable cause, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers initiated a traffic stop after observing the defendant failing to maintain a single lane and swerving between lanes without signaling. Upon the traffic stop, officers observed slurred speech and his glassy, bloodshot eyes. The defendant, on his own, immediately stated, "You're going to make me walk the line, aren't you?" The defendant admitted to drinking a glass of wine and taking a Valium. Test questions were conducted, 6 out of 6 HGN, 5 out of 8 walking turn, 3 out of 4 one-leg stand. The IC was read and the defendant consented to judgment.
You look to see if he has any prior DUIs, please. Now let's check his driver's license. Mr. Cameron, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Are you going to allow me to speak?
What did you want to say?
In my defense.
I don't want you to talk about the case now. I've got a bunch of DAs here, and everything that you say, they can use against you.
Absolutely.
Now's not.
And I have nothing to hide, sir. I'm leaving the country. I have to leave the country to teach Bible and English in Ukraine on Monday. I've been planning this for months.
I'm not putting a travel restriction on you. I'm just ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs.
I haven't. I had 2 lens replacements that week, sir.
From now on, while this case is open, you are not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication.
I don't anyway.
Then it shouldn't be a problem. But you're going to be randomly tested. How long are you planning on being out of town?
7 months until May.
This is going to be an issue. When are you leaving?
Monday.
You need to hire a lawyer. You need to talk to a lawyer about this so we can work something out. But you now have an open criminal case. You can't take off for just 7 months. It's not going. It can't happen. It's going to be an issue.
Half of the things that officer said was a lie.
That's why we have trials.
Okay.
You know, that's why I get it. There's always 2 sides to a story. I understand. The evidence will point to whose side is correct. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Bro didn't even wait for the hearing to start. He's already launching into his defense. Judge instantly hits the brakes like, "Please, stop talking." Then this man casually drops, "I'm leaving for Ukraine on Monday." What? The judge's face barely moves, but you can almost see the mental calculator working overtime. Chuckle Bro thinks a plane ticket pauses a criminal case? Wait, the next exchange gets way more uncomfortable.
Sure.
When does the blood work come in?
It takes a couple months. You have to understand that we live in a city of around 3 million people. On average, I probably have around a couple hundred DWIs that I'm working every week. In those, nearly every one of those is a blood test, so they are just overwhelmed with the amount of blood tests that they're working at any given time. So basically, you get in line, and then it just, when it's your turn, that's when it
That's 4 ounces of water.
Let's not talk, please. Everything you say, they're going to sit there and they're
Absolutely, I'm ready.
Don't. Now's not the time. You need a lawyer to represent you. What I
I will be my own lawyer, sir.
You perform open heart surgery on yourself? And let me tell you this.
I have nothing to hide.
Let me tell you this. If you're going to represent yourself, I'm going to require your presence here every month to go through discovery. Whereas if you have a lawyer, I waive appearances, right? Just, you can't represent yourself and be gone for 7 months. It don't work like that. So if you hire a lawyer, I will waive your appearance.
I can do this by remote.
You can.
Now he's calling the officer a liar and keeps trying to explain everything after being told not to. I mean, every sentence is basically free evidence. Then he says he'll represent himself. The judge gives that slow, exhausted look like he's heard this movie 1,000 times before. Would you perform open heart surgery on yourself? OOF. Cybro still isn't taking the hint, and then another problem suddenly appears.
Your lawyer can. If you represent yourself, I require your appearance here.
All right, sir. You're talking about a public defender? If one is appointed for me?
You have to qualify. I don't give out public defenders like it's candy on Halloween. You have to qualify. You have an income, the federal poverty guidelines, then we will appoint your lawyer. But if you don't qualify, then you have to go hire a lawyer. But once you do hire a lawyer, I waive appearances so you don't have to wait to come from the court. And then at that point, you usually, your case is put off for 4 months, give or take. And then when the evidence comes in, that's when you start working the case. But you have to understand that we randomly call people to take a drug and alcohol test, and if you don't show up, we issue warrants. So that could be an issue. So that's why you need a lawyer to represent you.
Can I say something about the Valium?
No. What you say now will do nothing as to whether there's probable cause, whether it's going to get dismissed, whether this or that. It has nothing to do with it. You're only hurting yourself. Nothing you can say right now will make it to where the case gets dismissed, whether this, it just doesn't.
Okay, good.
I'm doing it to help people with it. You know, we have a lot of people that come in here and they just want to run gun. Let's go now. Unfortunately, the law works at a sneeze. And I know that it infuriates about 90% of the people, but that's just the way it goes. I didn't invent it. I just try to micromanage.
In regard to the defendant's license, we see that he appears to have an out-of-state California license that is suspended in the case, except in the case of employment, so it appears to be an out-of-state occupational license.
Since I'm going to bar you from driving as well, sir. No? And I'm going to tell you now, if you have an occupational license in California, you've now picked up DWI. Once they get wind of that, it's very possible they will revoke that license as well. If he has an occupational license, it's got to be because of the DWI. Why else? Just don't say no. Don't. It's going downhill real quick. Don't. Now's not the time. You need a lawyer. When do you leave on Monday?
7 a.m. from McAllen.
Oh, to McAllen?
No, from McAllen to Warsaw. Train to Kiev.
What I would do is get on it quick today to see about hiring a lawyer.
Okay.
And then they can appear on your behalf on Monday, and we can work through the logistics. Don't just take off, because I'm telling you, if you just take off, I'm going to issue a warrant. And the next time you ever try to get on a plane, they're going to arrest you, and it's going to be, you'll sit in custody for months. It is a potential incredibly big headache.
So what does the lawyer need to do on Monday?
You need to have a lawyer. The lawyer needs to come, file paperwork to represent you, and then we can talk about how to work the logistics with the case.
And we got to do that before 7 a.m. when the plane takes off?
Oh, no. I mean, we don't start court till 9 o'clock. So, hopefully, if you hire a lawyer this weekend, they can try to get a hold of us through email, and perhaps we can work on it through the weekend, but you got to get on it quick, because lawyers don't work on the weekends, and it's already Friday, and I can tell you, not many lawyers work very hard on Friday.
Just one more question, please.
Sure.
Even if it's used against me, can I explain the California license revoked?
Don't.
All right.
Just really. I know that you want to, just now's not the time.
It gets worse. The judge finds out the guy's California license is already suspended, and now driving his OFF the table too. Bro keeps trying to explain himself, and the judge's expression says, "Please, just stop it." Chuckle, then comes a warning about leaving the country anyway. Warrants, airports, and a gigantic headache. I mean, this trip is looking less like a mission and more like a disaster. But the hardest questions are still coming.
Is we usually give around 30-day resets for people to hire a lawyer, but I'm advising you to do it.
Okay. Tell me where to go right now.
Okay. So you're showing he has a suspended license for sure, right?
That's what it shows on our end, Your Honor. Suspended except for that employment exception.
I'm going to have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not going to drive. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. You sign a reset with Victoria, we'll have you meet with Felicia for your bond conditions that you're not going to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. Understand, I don't care where you are. I know that you're going to Poland or wherever. You can't consume alcohol.
And you don't want me to drive from now?
Well, you have to follow the law.
it on Monday?
Well, he's gone Monday. How would you say a 30-day reset and then just, have a lawyer as quick as you can? Theoretically, you don't have to. You could be out of town, still get with the lawyer, and the lawyer can come. You just need to know before the next setting.
Yes, sir.
Because if you're not here, or someone's here on your behalf by the next setting, and you don't appear, people don't appear.
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
How much money do you make a month?
I would say that,
Be honest.
I just started with Tom ISD, so I have barely worked a month, maybe 800.
How do you support yourself?
I have been working, I'm a retired teacher out of California, and so I have retirement, but I'm trying to come on to Tomball to add to my
So
retirement.
you earn a monthly stipend as
Yes, sir.
part of your retirement.
Yes, sir.
And how much money do you make from that a month?
About plus Social Security.
All in all.
5,000 a month, plus the 800 that I just made.
See what priority to be on.
Anything where I ran this criminal history judge, I've carried that.
How many people are in your household? Who do you live with?
I'm living currently with my sister.
You're not married. You don't have children.
I am going through a divorce. My wife and son are in California.
Now the courtroom turns into a financial interview. The judge starts asking about income, retirement, family, everything. Bro is hoping for public defender, but then admits he's pulling in thousands every month. The judge gives that calm run, that answers that look without missing a beat, so you can almost see the hope disappear in real time. But wait, the final decision is about to corner him completely.
Come sign this. I'll have you sign a reset. I'll get you the reset to your bond conditions. We'll set you off a month.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Judge, we're keeping the Ravens guards.
Yes, it's a problem.
Since he's going out of town, he says that he won't sign for the next.
Well, then I'm going to put you in jail. Then.
How do I report
You need a lawyer. You need a lawyer so we can work out the logistics. But what we normally do.
take care of this?
What we normally do when people are out of town, we have them tested at Quest Diagnostics. You going to Warsaw for 7 months, it's going to be a humongous problem. I don't know how we're going to do this. That's why you need a lawyer so we can figure out the logistics, because I'm not going to take your word for it that you're not going to go over there and not drink. That's why it's a problem. But if you're not going to sign for the conditions, I'm going to revoke the bond.
So you're advising me to go ahead and sign and order the...
Well, every person that picks up a DWI, we do the same exact thing. We order the same conditions. Serenity now.
Serenity now! Serenity now!
He's going right. You make $5,800 a month, sir. That doesn't. You have an income of $5,800 a month. That's not federal property tax. Sorry, but you have to follow the law.
Game over. The judge explains those bond conditions aren't optional, even if it's halfway across the world. Bro finally realizes this isn't something he can simply talk his way out of. The judge's face stays perfectly calm while delivering the final reality check, and somehow that's even scarier. Chuckles, sometimes the quietest response hits the hardest. If you enjoyed this courtroom chaos, hit like, subscribe to Case File USA, and we'll see you in the next unbelievable case.